I was standing at the front desk when the clerk looked up from the screen and said it. Soft voice, no malice. "I'm sorry, sir. There's no reservation under your name." That was the moment. Not when my mother avoided my eyes, not when my father suddenly found the carpet fascinating, not even when my sister laughed and leaned in close enough for me to smell her perfume. "We only booked rooms for real family," she said, mocking, casual, practiced. I nodded once, calm. "Then I'll leave." I picked up my bag and walked out before anyone could stop pretending. An hour later, my phone vibrated itself into silence. 56 missed calls. I didn't return a single one, because by then, the trap was already closing. It didn't always look like this. There was a time my mother held my hand too tightly in crowds, a time my father called me first when something broke, a time my sister needed me. I wasn't born outside the family. I was edited out slowly. After my parents' business started failing, I stepped in. I didn't announce it. I just fixed things, covered loans, signed papers they didn't read, used my credit because theirs was burned. When the company stabilized, they smiled again. Relief looks a lot like love if you squint. I should have noticed the pattern. I was useful when needed, invisible when not. The trip was supposed to be a reset. That's what my mother said. Family time, she called it. I paid for half of it without being asked, like always. The missing room wasn't a mistake. It was a message. I didn't confront them. I don't waste energy on people who already decided who I am to them. Instead, I walked 2 blocks in the rain and sat in a quiet cafe, ordered black coffee, took out my phone. That's when I checked the email I'd been ignoring for weeks, the one from the lawyer. I had delayed it because some part of me still wanted to believe blood mattered. It didn't. The company my parents thought they owned, it wasn't fully theirs anymore. Years ago, when the bank refused to refinance, I'd stepped in. I'd structured it cleanly, legally, patiently. Majority shares transferred to a holding company in my name. Temporary, they said, just until things stabilized. Things had stabilized. They just forgot who did it. I booked myself a room at the same hotel, Presidential Suite, under my name. Then I made one call. The hotel manager knew me. I'd stayed there often, paid on time, tipped well, remembered names. "I need a favor," I said. Calm, polite. "I want to host a small announcement in the main conference lounge. Tonight." He didn't ask questions. They found out something was wrong before I even walked back in. That's why the calls kept coming. That's why my sister's voice messages shifted from laughing to shaking. I ignored them all. At 9:17 p.m., I entered through the side entrance. They were already there. My parents, my sister, confused, nervous, surrounded by unfamiliar faces, accountants, lawyers, 2 board members. I took my seat at the head of the table. My mother looked like she'd aged 10 years in 1 hour. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "I just wanted to confirm something," I said, sliding documents across the table, "whether I'm family or just funding." My father flipped through the pages. His hands trembled when he reached the signature page. Mine was everywhere. Majority ownership, final authority, immediate effect. My sister stood up, red-faced. "You can't do this. You owe us." I finally looked at her. "I paid for this trip," I said quietly. "I paid for the rooms you slept in. I paid for the company you thought was yours. And tonight, I paid attention." Silence has weight when people realize they're standing under it. They lost control that night, not just of the business, of the story they told themselves. By morning, the accounts were frozen, salaries paused, assets reviewed, legal, clean, unemotional. I didn't take everything, just enough. Enough to remind them that forgetting someone has consequences. I slept well in my suite. The next day, I checked out early, passed my family in the lobby. They didn't look at me this time. They knew. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't sad. I was precise. Some people think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's quiet. Signed, stamped, and delivered with a calm voice at the front desk. "No reservation for you. I repeated to myself as I walked out, and for the first time in years, I meant it.